do.
Are we live?
We're coming on live now. What's
Oh
going
my
on?
God.
Joe and Mike,
No,
Bill, that's what?
the shirt's ripped. What are we going to do? You're not looking
It's
professional.
I'm about to take this
You
shirt
got the
off.
dollar sign going, though. The George Washington, the hemp shirt.
Yeah, it's George Washington in jail for farming hemp.
Shout
But
out George Washington. Shout out hemp.
I actually I got some hemp PJs coming in. Actually, I realized I used to be big into like pajama pants, but I don't have any left. Like they all got ripped and they're all gone. So I got more coming.
Well, I recall a sentiment that you had the other week where you were talking about, like ripped shirts such as that, and you were very hesitant to get rid of it because you said something like it takes, how many years it takes to get a shirt like this? And you
Yeah.
believe that this shirt right now is in its prime.
Well, yeah, once this shirt, I mean, when I first got this shirt, it was kind of stiff. I mean, it was very stiff. It was kind of stiff. I almost didn't like wearing it at first. And now that it's all broken in, all the fibers are all stretched. Now it's a really glorious shirt.
Yeah, you've really beaten it into submission.
Indeed.
But I mean, that's a niche right there. Worn out shirts. Because, at Goodwill, they wouldn't even accept a shirt like that. But to people like yourself, that's one man's trash is another man's treasure, as they say. So here we are.
Curious to see on eBay what a broken in shirt goes for.
We're live. We got 11 people in here right now. So as we did on the last stream, we need to take attendance. If you're here, please give us a chat. It helps the algorithm, we believe. And so we got Voyage Travel. Finally, maybe he asked a question about B2B niches that we're going to answer today. We got Justin, our man Justin. Yo.
Oh, you're able to put...
I'm in, Joe. I got
right.
full control of this thing.
All right.
Waylon, now Joe just has the robe. He's not wearing a robe. Where's the elite sheet, Joe?
The dog lays on it.
Oh, shit. Matt Cool. I remember he used to be around.
Yeah.
B2B store is about to start ads. This live stream is perfect timing. AJ. Our boy AJ. Hey. Matthew, yo. Jess, what up? Connor, contacted you for a refund for the niche selection masterclass. All right.
Well, we'll refund you, but I don't see that you contacted.
Listen, this isn't customer service hour, but don't worry, Connor. We suck. We get it. We'll get you taken care of. Aaron, Ben, yo. Man, we got a lot of elite fleet members in here today. US REIC, hello. Waylon, I think distressed concert tees are big. Yeah, I mean, our uncle wears a lot of them, and I mean, I was at a vintage store the other day, I guess it's like a secondhand clothing store, and they'll sell like a Grateful Dead shirt for like $100 or something, like a concert tour T-shirt. He's like, I got this shirt for like $10. So yeah. Anyway, we got 14 people in here, so we could start talking, Joe. If you have anything to talk about.
Well, we're gonna talk about B2B dropshipping, obviously, because this guy Voyage Travel wanted us to talk about it, and so.
Oh, it was him?
Yeah, he keeps commenting that he wants us to talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think obviously the good thing with B2B dropshipping is typically lower competition and typically higher priced products. That's really what it comes down to. The problem with B2B dropshipping is that people normally don't think of stuff.
So you're saying the problem with B2B dropshipping is typically on the drop shipper?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, so we could break this down into a few different areas and maybe dissect them piece by piece, so it's not a 5-minute show.
Well, we had a student the other day talking to us about he wasn't specifically following what we do. He was doing some sort of arbitrage thing, but it was a B2B niche with some electronic type deal, like some electronic product that have a lot of different configurations and things.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's hard to come up with stuff like that. Like when he told us about it, I had no idea like what that was.
Yeah, and actually, he is in this live right now, and I believe he did make a sale. So, um, good
Oh
for
yeah.
him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there is a lot of B2B things out there. So I guess let's talk about so we can talk about like the opportunity in the space in terms of like how many potential niches you could say there are to go after, how many product types. We could talk about competitiveness, and we can talk about maybe customer service and like actually handling the sale.
Absolutely. So start us off because I kind of spaced out.
Okay, so so in terms of B2B products, it's like you were saying, Joe. I think a lot more B2B products are more hidden than something like home. Everyone wants to pick some sort of home niche and do, everyone wants to do the same things. They want to do the fire pits. They want to do I don't know. I don't want to reveal too many things, but those things are all obvious. B2B is not necessarily as obvious because it's not always in your face. Like there's all these weird manufacturing niches and like different things that go on obviously to get right now obviously I'm at a desk. We used to sell desks of a particular kind, and that was a very B2B niche.
It was.
And so, within that, I mean, like, that's something that could be either like standard, I'm obviously a home person, but a business could buy a bunch of desks. Maybe they're buying cubicles. And
Yeah.
so cubicles could be a particular niche that you can get into.
Yeah.
Um, and so sometimes people have a little bit of trouble distinguishing like one from the other. And also a product it could serve B2B and it could serve B2C. So, yeah, do you have anything to say about that?
No, I mean, I just don't think that there is a fundamental difference with whether it's B2B or B2C. Like, because you can have the same product sold to both things, like you said. But also, it's not like it makes the whole process any different. Like businesses, believe it or not, especially when they're searching for things where they don't like have a direct like distributor or something, like they will just search online for random stuff. Like for our desk website, for example, we sold to like a lot of huge companies and universities that like I would have never expected. Like, like how did they find us? And they found us the same way everyone else found us.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, if you're watching this, please like leave us questions about this because to us maybe it might seem kind of obvious. And I don't want to talk in circles because there's obviously something that's like been requested and maybe people have specific blockages in their mind as far as like, is this possible B2B or, so yeah, please leave us questions about, B2B stuff because like Joe said, there's not too much of a difference. And I think a lot of the difference comes into maybe like the handling of the sale, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, Joe, I mean, that store was a very, very rinky dink store, very low ads budget. And meanwhile, we were getting orders from like NASA and like University of Virginia, like huge establishments somehow
Yeah.
finding our products and ordering with us. So it is it is strange. And yeah, I mean, it's not like at that time we were doing anything in particular to get those sales, but yeah, I think a lot of B2B stuff kind of fell on our lap and for a lot of people it could be the same, but I think I don't know. So Aaron said, have you made more profit revenue with B2B or B2C?
Mm,
Hard to say.
yeah, hard to say. I really don't know.
I think it would be close. I think it'd be about 50-50.
Someone actually in our Open the Kimono class last night, I think two of the people are heavily involved in B2B stuff. Yeah, and we were looking at some of the keywords for that. And yeah, it's pretty interesting what people search for a B2B. If you kind of just throw the word like, I don't want to blow up anyone's niche here, I guess, but like if you throw the word like commercial, like wood, like
Yeah.
wood chipper or something in front of something,
That's a good trick too. Yeah. Whatever you're looking at, if you throw commercial in front of it, yeah.
or industrial.
Yeah, there's actually been a lot of things that we necessarily didn't know were B2B, but wound up being like very B2B. And I have a yeah, I think I can talk about this example. So on one of the not the most recent site we sold, but one of the earlier ones, we had a like a heater brand. And we just thought, okay, people will buy this for their backyards. And then all of a sudden, like we started getting orders for like 10 of these things from Marriott and just crazy things like that. And then those, that was pretty sick because those we would get like 40% margins on those. I mean, long story short, that supplier was actually really shitty and we had to drop them for different reasons. But like, I mean, it just goes to show you can acquire something that seems pretty standard, and then all of a sudden you got B2B customers banging down your door. So
Mike, a lot of the interesting thing with B2B, and I think we've experienced this. It seems like a lot of B2B suppliers in certain industries are not really up to date with like their website or how they process things. I think we've talked about this on the stream before, but one time we were looking to get into a specific niche. I think it was like display cases for restaurants or something.
Oh.
And they literally sent us a catalog instead of like an Excel sheet for the price lists.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of those things where it's like,
yeah,
you may have to do a little bit of extra work, but if you can, finagle one sale a month of a $20,000 display case, then hey.
Yeah. And on that note, B2B would have more things that probably aren't drop shippable. Like you may not be able to get in with them. Like, I don't know, cranes.
Well, yeah, I think it would depend. I mean,
I'm giving an obvious example. Like,
hold on, can I hold on? Can I share my screen real quick? I think this will be more fun if we. I can. May I? May I, sir? May I share my screen, please?
All right.
All right. Well, let me just pull it up because I'm deep into interesting.
Little Joey.
I'm deep into some interesting territory over here. I've got another tab open and I'm trying to find some B2B stuff. Maybe we can talk about it. Hold on. I'm pulling it up. All right. Let me hold on. I'm on like a Great Britain VPN here.
Why?
Because I was on a call with a British student this morning, so I was just looking at.
Is that how you were talking to him?
Yeah, I was on Google Shopping in the UK. Anyway, while I pull this up, it's just give me a sec here.
4K virtual world. What's up? What's up? What's up? British bow.
Okay. Share
Thank you for
screen.
leaving questions, by the way, people. We'll get to those in a second once Joe does what he plans
yes.
on doing.
So I was just looking up, like, I think I typed in commercial wood chipper and I found this website, Factory Pure. And then like this was one of their product pages. Sorry if this is someone's website on here. But look, manufacturer direct shipping.
Yard beast. There you go. That's pretty sick. Pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, they're using Judge Me. I mean, this is a good site. Is this in the UK?
No,
No, New York. I see. Yeah. This is a pretty good site, Joe.
It's nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, so right, like
Damn, they got the content going, how to get rid of mold, suggesting one of their dehumidifiers.
AJ
What?
says Factory Pure does bank apparently, like 21 mil. Where'd you hear that? Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of goes to show, what is this, crawl space dehumidifier? Yeah. Yeah, and so the point I was trying to get at when I said some things aren't going to be drop shippable is not that you can't do certain things, but you're gonna have to have maybe some thick skin to go on this type of endeavor. There's probably gonna be a bunch of people that are gonna tell you no, especially if you're newer trying to get into these industries. Kind of the more experience you have, you can have different leverage points, right? Like, who is one of our students had a content site that they actually used. They made the content site first, and then they were able to get in with like a bunch of the best suppliers in a pretty competitive industry and do really well because they had that content site, and that gave them the leverage to get in with those drop shipping or to be able to drop ship with those particular companies. So
I actually don't know what you're talking about, who you're talking about, but
I told you about this last week,
I don't remember.
and then you messaged them about their site. But anyway, like I was saying, if you're a beginner and you want to do something more B2B, obviously we have a lot of content about like niche selection and stuff like that. But yeah, if you want to do something like this, be prepared that people might say no to you. And if you can just get in with one of these, wood chippers, for example, or you get in with some sort of industrial yard cleanup company, then maybe you got to run with that for a little bit. And then after a decent amount of sales, you can go back to, Yard Beast, whatever, and say, hey, let me in. I'm selling, what is this?
Aha. This looks like
Oh God.
this looks like a drop shipping store, but like, did you see what the bottom says?
Yeah, the next Silicon Valley unicorn.
Join the next Silicon Valley unicorn. We're always looking for talent.
Wait, what is it? Wait, go down. Unless otherwise indicated, the Build Club is not affiliated with, sponsored, or endorsed by, nor is Build Club an authorized reseller of any manufacturer or reseller whose products are sold on this website.
I don't know what that means.
So they're not authorized resellers of this stuff? What kind of Silicon Valley unicorn is this?
I have no idea.
AJ knows about everything. I don't even know what. Build Club sucks. They only ship to Los Angeles, but they have PLAs on all of US.
Maybe AJ could come on the stream.
AJ, how do you know all this? AJ's been a long-time Elite Fleet member. I'd love to have him on the podcast. He doesn't tell us what he does, so I don't know. It's never come up, but okay, they just scrape everything and list indiscriminately.
Ah,
I'm in a similar niche to these guys, is why.
So is it like arbitrage of sorts? Like, how do they scrape? Is it like are they arbitraging this stuff?
Well, they said that they're not authorized retailers. So, yeah, Joe, what if you Google that? Maybe they're just doing some sort of markup thing.
Yeah, I'll look for this Tyvek tape.
Anyway, yeah, I don't want to stray too far, but I think we kind of made the point that there are big industrial products being drop shipped. And again, maybe Yard Beast doesn't let you in. Maybe you can get in with something similar, and then eventually you can get in with Yard Beast, or maybe you do a content site. And I mean, Joe, I'm sure there are people selling Yard Beast that have affiliate products or affiliate programs, Home Depot,
honestly,
Tractor Supply, whatever. And yeah, great leverage point to get in with suppliers.
A lot of this stuff would probably be pretty easy to rank for, like in terms of like information about it. So like no one is making so if you the normal content site stuff, people make sites about blenders, air fryers,
Yeah.
golf, whatever. But like if you make informational content about a crawl space dehumidifier, like I'll bet you can rank and then get some free traffic, then get in with one of these supply. I mean,
Manufacturer direct.
yeah, it's got to be a long, it might have to
Right
be
there.
a longer vision than, to get in with some of these higher end suppliers.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of, could be a drawback with B2B is that it sometimes has to be a longer vision because like I said, you may have to grind away. You're not going to get in with all the suppliers immediately. If you're new, especially. So that's that. What was the other point? Competitiveness. So, I mean, you have, we're looking at Factory Pure here, but if we look at Aloe Air HD90, if you just search that, got a few companies, but I mean, nothing, I see 5+ stores here, Modern House USA. Looks like, yeah, this is, well. What is this, Joe?
I don't know. What is it?
Someone copying us. That's what it is.
Well, our stores don't look like this anymore. This was kind of a legacy.
This is some legacy bow shit.
And there's a lot that they've done
twisted.
There's a lot that they've done wrong, to be honest here.
But let's not get it twisted.
There's certain elements.
Let's not get it twisted. We invented this.
I think I created this little graphic.
You created that. You created what's below that. We created what's under that. So I wonder who this is.
Yeah.
Maybe,
but to be honest,
maybe it's one of our students. I don't know. Sorry if we just blew you up. But
well, if it is, hit me up because there's some stuff on here that should be fixed. Definitely some stuff that should be fixed.
Look
at this though.
I got some questions.
Water damage restoration commercial package.
This is AJ says the Trevor student probably. Yeah, I mean, this is not a well done site, and they're so broad. In our niche selection masterclass, we talk about all these on-page things and structural things as well.
I don't think we talk about the on-page stuff.
I mean, we certainly review it.
Oh yeah, maybe a little bit, but yeah.
This is like so insanely broad. I can't imagine this is doing well.
It might be because they got, maybe they just got enough stuff on here.
They're making like these custom. Listen, I don't want to talk too much shit about this. I don't even know who this is, but what is it? Are they making these packs? What is this?
Yeah, I guess they're making these packs or something. I don't know.
Well, EcoSense Living has the same sort of thing going on here.
Yeah.
This is all being dropshipped. Well,
what are we doing? We're browsing the web here. I want to say something, Mike. If Connor is still in the stream, I was looking at his well, I don't have this well enough thought out, but we're literally browsing the web, finding all this stuff right on stream. There's no more questions to be asked. It's all right here. And Connor, I was reading the email about why he wants a refund for the niche selection masterclass. And, basically he felt that it wasn't in depth enough and that, we mentioned something like less than 25 competitors and that was quite vague and we need more detail on that, et cetera, et cetera. But it's all right here. We're browsing the web right here. it's not. People think niche selection is so technical.
Yeah, if we don't mention it, it's not important.
Exactly. I'm not making lists with scorecards and adding it up. This is a 7 out of 10 niche selection. I'm not doing that at all. Like, this is literally what we're doing on stream now, plus all the principles in the niche selection class, which I already refunded him for. This is literally what we're doing.
Yeah, people can't handle the truth sometimes, Joe. I think it probably hurts us as a information business. Because if we made the checklist with the scorecards and all this shit, people would probably like it more. But it wouldn't be.
No, this now you're getting me roused up, Mike, because we've been through so many bullshit courses, especially in the FBA front.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the FBA front. These people who sell these FBA courses, they love to have a checklist. Everything is a checklist. Everything is a score. This product type, you add up these numbers, you say, competitiveness, you say like the number of keywords in the search, just all of these bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. And then you make a decision on that. That's not how we run things.
Yeah.
That's not how we do things.
Yeah. Instead of that, we give you not some sort of checklist, not some sort of binary checklist, but a framework so that you can make decisions and that whatever you decide, whether it's right or maybe it's a little bit off, you can kind of course correct to get to the point of success. Because Joe, we followed the checklists.
They don't work.
The checklist and they don't work. Yeah, and then you say, what do I do? Because I followed the checklist and now this. And so there's no nuance with that because things aren't that black and white. And again, you can have someone, we've said this over and over. We can give someone the same product type, the same niche, whatever. We say, go do it. And one person is going to do really well and one person is not going to do well.
Give people the same exact website, same exact supplier, same exact products, maybe logo slightly different. You can have two extremely, extremely different results. And that's what people aren't understanding.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. And, Mike, I was hoping the niche selection masterclass was going to clear up some of that for people so that they would have the confidence to start and have a good framework to start. But at this point, I'm thinking about pulling it.
Screw it. Pull it. Because
we worked so hard on it. We revealed the site.
Well, the Elite Fleet students can have it and that's fine. But yeah, I think when people are just starting out and like before they really dive in, they want to dip their toe in. They want to feel secure and they want to feel like they know exactly what's going to happen. But those are the same people that they're never going to feel 100% confident. There's always going to be another question and another question and another question before they feel like they're ready to actually do something.
Right.
Majority of things that we get started on and we've been successful with, we're not trying to get every question answered before we dip a toe in the pool. You got to just start doing things and just one foot after the other. And that's how you get somewhere. You're never going to get somewhere by just having all the answers up front in your head because you can't even make sense of it until you're actually walking the walk.
No, and there's so much more that you have to walk the walk to actually be able to understand. We did a presentation last night for the Open the Kimono group. My SEO strategy is still evolving.
Yeah.
I took many courses on it. Did I learn something from each one? Yeah, I did. But I'm in it every day trying to evolve the strategy and trying to apply it to what we're doing.
And that's not to say you haven't made a lot of money doing SEO.
No.
We've made 6 figures doing SEO, but there's still more to refine and there's still more to learn. And we wouldn't be at the point where we can refine it and really get to like a major tipping point and be able to, take it even further if we didn't, like the first website we ever made was, it works now after a lot of iteration, but at the time there was a lot of screwed up things about it. So
yeah, I'm getting upset. I'm getting upset here, Mike. I feel like we've given away too much. You could just literally just follow what we do. You hop on calls with people. They did the ad. You fix their ads. They make a sale the next day. and then they're off to the races.
Yeah, and then they run off. They don't talk to us anymore. But that's all good. At least the people in the elite fleet, they've decided to take action. They ask us questions and stuff. A lot of people in there are really great because, I mean, a lot of them have been really successful and they do listen to us. But yeah, it's more about people on the outside that I think want more than we can give.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, our boy Sean the Dawn.
You guys are on a rant today. I love it.
All right, why don't we get to some of these questions?
All right.
And we were talking about competitiveness, but we'll put a pause on that.
I mean, what is there? What is there to talk about when it comes? Well, let me talk. I'll go a little bit into competitiveness for a second. When it comes to competitiveness, I truly feel like the only thing that is going to be super competitive and super to the point where like, oh man, like I never like competitiveness is actually a consideration is like generic furniture. Like if you're doing generic furniture, like end tables or something, or like, I don't know, couches.
Well, I want to give an example.
You're going to give an example?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So on the same front where I was talking about before, we were selling the desks. And we had those conference tables that we would sell. That started out as a small company, right? Like that, we have like a really good supplier where we got like these niche desk type items from them.
Yeah.
And then they got sold to a really, really big company.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden it went from, not all of a sudden, it kind of happened a little slow, but it went from an environment where we were maybe one of like 10 dealers, the 5 dealers actually running ads, to you had items for that bigger company that was like 50 plus, 100 plus competitors.
Right.
And so even then, we started listing some of these bigger items. We listed like some filing cabinets or some shit.
Yeah.
Just because they were there. Only reason we didn't list more was because their margins sucked. They didn't have map or anything, so like it wasn't even worth it. But even then, we made some sales.
Yeah.
We sold some filing cabinets. We sold, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. We were selling these conference tables, Joe. They had no map for maybe a year. We didn't know that. We were just listed at map. I was bidding a lot on these items, and we would still sell them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think sometimes with B2B stuff, you can run into maybe some higher levels of competition. And with the example you were talking about before with one of our students who's doing something in like the electronic space that's B2B, his situation is an example of that. Like there's like $12 CPCs, $10 CPCs and stuff. But you don't have to be at the top all the time. It's what I try to explain to people. You can get by perfectly fine. At the top, yeah, maybe you have to pay $10 to be there. But at $2, maybe you would show up at the top, 70% less. You're still showing up. It doesn't matter. You're still paying you can pay $2 and you still show up sometimes.
Yeah.
And then once you get the sales, you can figure out that optimal point of, okay, I'm okay bidding $5. I'll show up, a good amount. This cost per click works for me, etc. You don't have to ever bid $10. So with competition, it's just you have to find your way. But with competition, usually becomes really good price points, like good margins and good demand. So it's all a trade-off.
People don't realize that with as far as the niche selection masterclass goes, we've taken the process of niche selection and is essentially what we've done with the class is turn it into a risk-free endeavor. If you build a store the way we talk about in the class, there is almost no risk of your store ultimately failing and you have to shut it down. I'm not going to say there's no risk, but there's very little risk of that because of the way that we designed the whole strategy behind it. And it's not about looking at the competition and seeing this many results on Google Shopping, seeing that many results on Google Shopping. It's all about the structure of things. That's what a lot of it comes down to. It's how
Sorry, you hear that through my mic?
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. What is that?
I don't know. Should like clean the floor?
Sounds like a spaceship.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna mute myself.
All right. So Trevor Zhang says, hi, guys. But yeah, as far as the niche selection stuff goes, like that's one of the things that I believe is so superior about our angle, is that we designed the structure in a way where you can always move forward and have an authoritative website at the same time. Okay. So
I was really gonna make a point, and that loud buzzing came in, and I didn't want to yell. But hold on.
Yeah, Tatty Sora, do you guys have a payment plan for your course, or it has to be paid outright? Typically paid outright, but if you email us, I can maybe set you up with a payment plan of sorts.
Oh, what I was gonna say was, we never had a dropshipping store fail.
No.
Ever. And so in the niche selection masterclass, you get what is essentially our brainchild to making sure a dropshipping store never fails. But Joe, the amount of people that we have helped make small fortunes, a lot of them have pissed it away because it came too easy.
That's true.
So
that's true. And we're not going to name names here. But yeah, that's one of the things that about what we did is like, it almost became like this business seems so easy that everything I do is going to be easy. Everything I do should turn to gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are the crypto bros at? Send me a rocket ship in the chat. And a moon. And a hands.
And a diamond.
Yeah, and a diamond.
Okay. So, oh God, where were we in the questions?
I don't know. I don't know what happened with the stream.
Thank you, Voyage.
Did we answer your questions, Voyage? I mean,
I hope he just says no.
Is this what you wanted?
How soon can I sell a store of mine? Probably a year at the very earliest, but more likely it's going to be about a year and a half before it gets to any reasonable sales point, because you're not going to like come out the gate and make $5,000 a month, most likely, and stay on that pace. It's like you got to ramp up for a few months at least. So
yeah. I thought that was a corgi and Matt. Cool. I thought it was like the Doge.
I thought it was a Shiba. Yeah. Anyway, we're going all sorts out of order here. Have you ever worked with affiliates on your dropshipping stores? We did one thing where we put a dropshipping store on an affiliate network, but it was kind of BS.
Did we?
Remember we found out we paid out like a bunch of affiliate commissions to this person that was basically just like posting our coupon code.
Oh, we never paid it out.
Oh, okay, well then screw that.
But they just
no, never paid them.
No. So what happened was we used an app, I think, to make an affiliate program on Shopify for this one company who, you know, they wanted to basically work with us more directly. But then I guess because we made this app, other people were able to find the affiliate sign up page. And then a bunch of coupon sites signed up and just started like posting stuff. And it said we like had to pay people. I never hooked anything up because we never approved them or gave them permission or anything.
Oh, I thought it was automatically taken. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, nothing valuable ever came out of that. Maybe if we hooked ourselves up to like share a sale or something like that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna delete that app just for good measure, because
I thought we did, but anyway, that answers your question, Aaron. We never did that, like to any reasonable manner. To be fair, after one call with Mike and rewatching the videos, everything just makes sense now. Thanks, Trevor. Yeah, I believe we did. We had a good call, Trevor. We got some really hardworking pupils in the elite fleet, and honestly, Joe, I mean, for all the shit we're talking, I think it's been really nice to see like a lot of people that have done really well with you know, our information. They've made some good livings for themselves, so that's always good.
No, I know. I'm not being. I don't feel like I'm being hard on people. It just because I know how well a lot of our students have done. I get my feelings hurt when people say that what we gave them wasn't adequate, because I know for a fact that it's beyond adequate.
Right, exactly. Tim Scales with some sort of Dr. Seuss question here. Have you ever had a dropshipper? Have you ever had a dropshipper wanted to dropship your dropshipping products? Yeah, I mean we've gotten like inquiries from people that you think we're a supplier or something. So usually I just ignore it. You could mess with them if you want. One time when we were like really new at this, someone messaged our live chat and was like, "Are you dropshipping?" And then like I wound up getting into a conversation with them, and I actually like became friends with them. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't he? Wasn't he like in the same niche as us as well?
yeah.
And yeah, like he doesn't do drop shipping anymore, right? He does something else.
Yeah, I don't know what he does. Yes. How do you handle B2B customers asking for terms? Yes. This was a good question. So yeah, this is actually something we could talk about. So a lot of times B2B people, like, you know, universities, schools in particular, they may not necessarily want to pay you up front like a typical customer. They want to do something like net terms. So net 7 or net 30, for example, basically means they send you a PO. So if you were selling something to a school would send you a PO, say, hey, we want this item, this is what we're going to pay for it, etc. And then you would basically ship them the item, send them an invoice, and then based on the net terms, if it was net 30, they have 30 days to pay you after you send the invoice. It's typically how it goes. Sometimes it's like net terms take effect after delivery, possibly. So yeah, I mean with B2B, sometimes you may have to accept not getting paid up front for something, which again, if you're new, if you don't have the cost, if you don't have the ability to kind of cover something, maybe you're a little bit worried it's a scam, which is certainly possible. That could be a potential issue. I try to push this matter as much as possible that we like to be prepaid before we ship. And so sometimes it can happen. Sometimes it won't, you know. And if someone like NASA sends you a PO and they want to buy something and you're gonna make a few $1,000 on it, I mean, sometimes you got to just deal with that. So try and negotiate as much as possible, but a lot of times it's just not how they roll. It's like a particular accounting thing. You know, you got the accounts payable, you got the accounts receivable, and you got to, you know, I don't know. Joe could talk about more of that than I can, but hope that answers your question. Sometimes you just got to deal with it. Yeah, sorry, I saw you guys ask these questions earlier. Ever heard of placing B2B contracts, B2B contract bids for schools or governments, etc.? I think we've done this, but it's been few and far between. So the thing is with B2B is that like there's not really a one size fits all in terms of what this would look like. You know, someone might get stuck being like, "Oh, I don't know how to place a bid, so what do I do?" really it's as simple as just like asking the school or government, whatever, if they have a form, or sometimes they'll even just send you like a bid form and you just fill it out. You can even talk with them beforehand and just like ask if there's a particular price that they need. And then you just do it. But
I got 3 words for you, Justin. No bid contracts. You got to get a lobbyist in Washington, D.C., and then
yeah.
and then you get the no bid contracts with the schools.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Kind of. It's a controversial thing. Whenever there's like a no bid contract, it's like kind of suspicious because the government procured a service and didn't like price shop, I guess. But I'm trying to be funny.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh yeah, Alex, you had a question before. Shout out Alex with the Supreme Louis Vuitton backdrop. How often do you guys open up new stores, and if so, do you guys work together? Well, yeah, we work together, but we don't open up too many new stores these days. You know, we opened up a bunch of stores when we first started, and then we've kind of have been dealing with the aftermath of that for like 5 years. So
yeah, and the other thing is like this has been a big realization, I think, or something that I feel like I've felt a lot before I've actually noticed it, or I felt this a lot before I actually put into words what it is. After you've sold a bunch of stores, you made a bunch of stores, you've done a bunch of things, you sold courses online. It's like starting a new store. Like I would want to do, I rather focus on something that's like a lot bigger, if that makes sense. Like, if I start a drop shipping store, I know that if with minimal effort, I can add an extra, say 3 to 5K a month with minimal effort, like in profit or whatever. But it's like, then what am I going to do with it? Like we gotta put our efforts into. I'm not saying that like as a humble brag or anything. I'm just going to be creating something else that I have to kind of have and keep an eye on versus doing like a bigger thing or expanding the store that we have, or like, working with the store that we have and trying to do things that are like going to have a much bigger impact to our business portfolio.
Right. So we've managed a few big stores. So at a certain point, it becomes not worth it to open up a new store. And maybe if we had known what we had known back then, we might not have done that many stores. But back then, that was like the only way that we knew to increase revenue. We didn't have a good grasp on ads. We didn't have a good grasp on SEO. We just saw, okay, well, we got some suppliers here. We ran some ads, and that made us this amount of sales. Like, what if we just did this again in a different area? And that was kind of our solution to that. But I mean, yeah, high ticket drop shipping is not necessarily like the end all be all. I mean, it can if you want it to be, but more often what we find is that, our students come in and then they generate a good amount of money, and then they usually want to like play around and do other stuff. Because when you start out, I mean, it's a bit of a grind. Like you got to set up the store, you got to learn that, you got to learn the ads and all that. And it's a very well-paying grind, I think, if you do it properly. But I think there's again, I view it as a gateway drug of sorts into this whole world. And
well, it really is the best gateway drug, but
it really is. I mean, even just I don't know how to phrase this, but
you get kind of bored of the gateway drug sometimes.
Yeah, you want to see what else is out there. So, but the simple fact is, like, there's no other business model where you can generate hundreds of thousands in revenue a month without having to show your face and really without having to do like much complicated things. Like, you could make $100,000 a month doing some sort of funnel, but that's like insanely hard compared to just having some products on a dropshipping store. Like we were saying before, the amount of people that we've taught to get a lot of revenue dropshipping, it's like they'll do it and then they'll be like, oh wow, like everything is so easy. When in fact, it's just the drop shipping that's really easy, and like the way that we go about it, that's easy. A lot of other stuff is like quite difficult, but the upside could be higher.
Like this, what we do for build assets online is way harder than drop shipping.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, because we're creating products. We don't know if people want them or not. We create a niche selection masterclass. People say it sucks, and then we gotta, we gotta deal with that. Versus all the products you would drop ship, they're kind of already verified in the marketplace. Again, the way that we teach it, they already have demand. It's already verified. But how many sites would you save sold? I don't know what the number is. Is it close to double digits?
I think so. I know the amount, like the revenue in sites that we've sold has been over in the 7-figure territory, right?
Yeah. So that's a nice little milestone. And when you sell a site, how do you go about that? Well, there are website brokerages that will help you sell your website. So if you're selling something that's like over $50,000 in value, and that's a whole separate conversation as far as like how you get to that valuation. But sites like empireflippers.com, if you go there, you can kind of see what that's what that world is like, because that's it's a big thing. And I think that was just part of our realization that, hey, yeah, we could throw up a site, we can make $3,000 to $5,000 a month, but that's actually more than that. That's potentially $5,000 a month, 30x multiple. That's $150,000 when you go to sell the website. So that's why, again, this is like such a powerful tool, because it's so compounding. Justin's going to make his Mexican wife the CEO of his company. He's going to win all the bids.
Do you teach HT dropshipping? What is HT dropshipping?
High ticket?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go to buildassetsonline.com, go to the top, click Elite Fleet Plus. That's where we teach it.
How do you guys decide your CPC/bids when running Google Shopping ads? Well, when you get started, you can just set a bid. You can just set it at 30 cents or whatever, 50 cents, and then see what happens. And then you just tweak it up or down. And then if it makes you sales, you can decide, okay, do I want to spend more? Am I okay with spending $2 on a click? Spending $5 on a click? And so it's that's really how we decide. Just, does this make sales? How much does it cost us in ads to make a sale? And if we're okay with it costing more to make a sale, then I will increase the bids and try to get more sales. And I actually, for people listening, I go in depth on this in the scaling modules of the course, where it's all about, after you've made your first 30,000 in sales or whatever, how do you really figure out how to get it to 100,000, 200,000 in sales? And so that's a big part of the scaling modules. So what time are we at here, Joe? Did we even talk about B2B dropshipping?
I think we talked a lot about it. I think we found some golden gems when I shared my screen.
I think so. So we're almost at an hour. We still got some viewers in here, so if people have more questions, we can get to that. That's a good question. Do I have to study product manuals, or can I tell customers to call manufacturers with product-specific questions? So if you're asking this on the customer acquisition side, I wouldn't tell a customer to call a manufacturer if they're calling me to try and buy something. But on that same note, you don't have to study product manuals. If they say, I want the yard-based wood chipper, what kind of engine does that have? I mean, I would just Google it, or I would look on my own product page, or just quickly browse around and find the answer. It's kind of like an open book test. It's like, all right, well, sir, let me just confirm that for you, and then just figure it out real quick. And if you really can't find it, You say, hey, I'm going to call you back because I can't seem to find this. I just want to confirm. I'm going to call the manufacturer, and then you can call the manufacturer, and then you call the customer back.
Even if you're answering the calls, you don't have to be the owner or the expert. You could just be like a dude that's working there who may not have all the answers. Like, oh, I'm going to check with my boss. Let me check with my boss.
Yeah. They don't know who you are. Like, sorry, sir. It's my first day on the job. Is B2B recession proof? I don't think anything is recession proof.
I feel like there's a lot of buzz right now about recession type things. And I feel like people start thinking in these weird ways during these times. But the Prince, does the status of the economy change what we do ever?
I don't think it can. You can't let it change what you do, really. I was just going to say, I think the only way it would change things would be like if because of the economy, our business wind up suffering, maybe we'd have to like let go of some employees and like cut costs and stuff. But I'm not going to change what I'm doing because I'm hearing that we're going into a recession.
Yeah.
So see, Joe, Matt's just messing with you.
What's a buff question? A buzz question.
How did you guys end up selling your old websites and why? So, like I was saying before, we use a website brokerage like Empire Flippers or Quiet Light Brokerage. We had Quiet Light, one of the people who helped sell our website. He was on a separate podcast a couple weeks ago. But why? Well, because we can get a really big cash out at the end. And so a lot of times you have a store, it's going really well, but scaling it is a lot of work. Maintaining it can be sometimes a lot to deal with. You got a lot of orders, you got employees, and so sometimes it's time to get out. And I mean, if you can get like the most recent site we sold, we got like a what did we get? It was almost a 3x multiple on the yearly profit. So we basically got paid out for 3 years on that website. And so the way I like to think of it is, is it worth it for me to take basically what this website is predicted to earn for 3 years? I'll take that up front. Can I do something in the meantime to build up another asset that I can sell for even more? And so, I think that's kind of just the decision you have to make. So I got my camera in front of the people's names. Andres Seguenza, what is a realistic goal to achieve, assuming good course mentorship and discipline plus consistency?
Well, I think realistically, you never really mentioned like the time here, but I mean, if you're working on your store, let's say full time, I feel like you could easily get to 6 figures profit in a year. That's 8 hours a day. If you're not doing that, it's going to be less. It's going to be, maybe your first year you hit 20, 30K profit if you're consistent, but not full time. That's the broadest estimate I can give. Those are always really hard questions to answer.
Yeah, I was going to give a similar answer, honestly. So I think we're on the same page about that.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. Is it more efficient to go through the whole course and then implement actions, or implement as you finish each slide? The second one. He's saying should you watch the whole course and then do stuff versus just doing stuff after we say to do stuff?
I would say this is actually based on your level of comprehension and experience, because we have a wide variety of. So we have, say out of 100 students that watch the same video, we have outliers that do things near perfect, and then other outliers that do things like really wrong. So I feel like there's some sort of bell curve going on, and I don't know where you're going to fall on that bell curve, to be honest with you.
Well, my thinking on it was, I mean, for me, if I'm going in and I'm doing something I don't like, if this is gonna be my first foray into high ticket dropshipping, I want to watch the videos. And if we say, all right, we're gonna show you how to build the website, I want to do that as I'm watching the videos.
Yeah.
Because at least for me, like after I watch a video once, it's gonna be hard for me to go back and like rewatch it and be as focused on it again.
Yeah.
My mind's gonna be bored and be like, I watched this already. Like I'm gonna try and like skip through and like do all sorts of stuff like that.
But the other thing is, if you're in the elite fleet, you just do the actions as best you can. Send us your website. We'll comment on it. I'd say just get as far as you can within reason. Send us what you've done, and then we can talk about it. I think that's the most efficient path forward.
Right. So I think if you're doing things as we're telling you to do things, that's the best option. And we're basically making it even safer for you, because after you do it, you can be like, hey, I did this. Can you check to make sure this is right? And we can give you feedback right then and there. Versus when I think people watch an entire course and don't do anything, number one, they're sort of pushing along this point where it's like they're going to actually have to do things, and it's going to be the fun's going to be over once they do that. Watching a course is fun.
I bought a lead gen course. So after this Google update that we talked about, a lot of SEO stuff was affected. I was in this phase last week or the week before. I was learning as much as I can. I bought a lead gen course because I wanted to see how these guys who do local SEO do it. And it was so funny how I went through that course. And after the second video, I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this. But like,
Really?
if I was in a state where I was just starting out, and like I just bought this and I knew like, all right, I'm committed to this. Like I have to make this work, which I wasn't for this. I would have been going through it. Like it was my first experience where I bought something and I felt like I was doing what a lot of people do, which is they watch it and then they say, this is way too much work. Or they say like, oh, I'll do this tomorrow. I was saying in my head, there's no way I'm doing this, because my head was telling me, watch this video and then you can build the website tomorrow. And then we'll watch the next one. And I kept going forward without doing what you're saying, because I knew in the back of my mind, I didn't want to put in the work.
Right. And so like, I think a lot of people will do this, and that's an excuse to just watch the videos and not do anything. Yeah. And then, like Justin said here, I'm more of a shoot first, ask questions later type of person. And I think we've seen that generally result in more success. Just over, like, I mean, Joe, you were talking about the bell curve of people that do things right and do things wrong. The fact of the matter is, I can't tell you the number of calls I've gone on with people, and I looked at their ad accounts, and they're on the end of like, they did a lot of things wrong, but they're still profitable. So it's like, who cares? Because they took the action, they got the store done, they got the ads up, they got everything running. And yes, they screwed a lot of things up along the way, but with high ticket dropshipping, it still always seems to work out. It's crazy.
It's like, it's almost like, it's like the house is built already. Okay. Or you move into a house and the house is a little bit of a fixer upper. Maybe it needs a new paint job, or it needs like even a new toilet or something. But the house is built. Once you take the actions, you build the store, you set up the ad accounts, you sync the products, everything is working that get past that initial phase. You're really just clicking a few buttons at that point to change things. It's really just little tweaks. but you've done the majority of the work. So yeah, taking a lot of action up front, especially when it comes to high ticket dropshipping, is really the way to go, because you want to set up that house. You want to build the house, and then you can tweak some things about it later. You want
Yeah.
to make sure that that song, as it go, the house don't fall if the bones are good.
I don't know what
You,
the hell you're
you know that
talking about.
song?
No, I don't know it. That sounds like some country music thing. Sounds like an HGTV show, but yeah, this is exactly like high ticket dropshipping. I'm honestly amazed at how forgiving it is. The amount of times I've seen people literally, like the troubleshooting modules in the course, we say, hey, make sure your spend is this ratio. Make sure you're doing this. Make sure you're doing this. People will have every single thing wrong, and they're still profitable. Joe, like with like doing funnels or something, like, or something with build assets online or whatever, like if we screw up something on the landing page, or we do this or we do that, it's gonna screw things up like massively. This,
Yeah.
you screw everything up, it doesn't matter, because people, the product itself, people already just, they want it, they go and they buy it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So it's a fiery episode. Yeah. I'm from the UK, currently traveling in Brazil. Just found your content and love it. One question: what would you suggest for taking customer phone calls while abroad? Well, if you don't want to take them yourself, you could just hire a VA to basically take them for you, and hopefully they're good enough to make sales for you and stuff. But starting out, it would be ideal if you can try and do them yourself, because I think without doing that, you're going to be more likely to hire somebody and then not train them well, because you don't know yourself what it takes to sell the products, and then that could be a bit of a spiral. But on the topic of this video, we had one of our friends, we talk about this guy all the time. He lived in Thailand, and obviously Thailand is 12-hour time zone difference, something like that. And so he was rarely awake for the majority of his customer calls, and he was doing purely B2B. I'd say 90% B2B. And he would just wake up, make a few supplier calls, do some phone calls, send out some quotes, and call people back, and that worked out for him.
And Mike, that's going to be super niche dependent as well.
Yeah.
There are some products where customers call all the time, and customers complain about these products. The demographic is a little bit of a factor here, and we've experienced this all across the spectrum of different customers with different stores. Even on the same store, different products get different customers. And like, you've literally told me for certain stores, you're like, you know what, Joe, don't do any articles for these type of products, because I don't want to hear from any more of these customers.
Yeah, exactly. And I think B2B customers are probably easier to work with than B2C, because they're playing with house money,
Exactly. Yeah.
You got the guy ordering the conference table from NASA. This is not like a make or break thing for him.
No, it doesn't determine whether the rocket goes up or not.
Yeah. Whereas, you sell a tub to some lady that's been working on this her bathroom for the last 3 years, 3 contractors later, and then the tub arrives damaged, and you basically just turned her world upside down. And now you have to deal with the consequences of that. So, it's pros and cons to each. I mean, I'd say it's very doable to make a store that does both. And that would be probably ideal to do. But we've seen it work really both ways. When pricing items from high-ticket suppliers, do you compete with similar prices as your competition or lower? Typically, we like to sell products that have MAP pricing, minimum advertised pricing, which means you can't everyone has to advertise at the same price, and that kind of locks in the fact that no one can undercut each other, and that makes it easier to run ads because you know someone's not going to just undercut you and it's going to screw up your ad spend and stuff like that. I like this question. Matt Clark, would scaling your store's revenue from 400 to 800 a month be easier than scaling the store from ground zero to 400K?
I definitely think the second one is harder. Or no, sorry, the first one, the second phase, 400 to 800.
I agree. I think that's harder.
Yeah.
Because 0 to 400K, yeah, 0 to 400K, you can do with a couple employees. You start getting to 800. Now, think about how many orders you're going to be getting at 800K. Even if your average order value is $1,000, that's 800 orders a month. You're going to need someone, probably a whole entire team, to be keeping track of all the orders, making sure that we're not getting double charged, making sure that each invoice is, the whole accounting side of it becomes crazy, especially because sometimes things take a couple months to ship. If they're back ordered, whatever, to manage that would be a lot of work. The customer service side, you would have to basically really expand your team. Versus, like 100K, 200K, depending on the store, you could be doing that and be taking it easy.
Yeah.
You have one or two people, maybe it's just less than 100 orders a month, so it's kind of easy to keep track of.
We've always framed dropshipping as the perfect business for the initial financial freedom phase. When you're talking 400 to 800K, you're kind of going beyond what it takes for the initial financial freedom phase, I would say. So,
I mean, Joe, for some context, I mean, we were doing probably over 800K, probably around $1 million a month with our combined stores.
That's true. That's true.
We were kind of scrambling to,
yeah,
because we didn't realize you have to be keeping up with all these things at that level. And I mean, the one store that we sold had a really big team. It probably had 6 to 8 employees. So it was the store level itself was okay, but the actual bookkeeping and accounting side of it became really, really complicated.
Hey, it feels good to have that store gone.
Right. And so that was a big selling point. Our big reason that we wanted to sell it was because it just became very, very tough to manage it from an accounting side, more so than the store side. So maybe that's our fault. Maybe we just, if we had figured out that piece, it would have been all good, and we could have scaled it to 800, and we would be saying, that part's easier. But it's just it's a lot to manage, and it's again, I don't know. You're making 400K, revenue a month drop shipping. You're probably close to that financial freedom point, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, you should be pretty much, yeah.
I think if you can manage running that for a year or two, just grind that out, you should be able to, have a house, have that paid off, not have any debt, and you sell it maybe, and then, I mean, you're basically retired, or anything you do at that point is just minimal risk.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I don't know how much longer you want to keep this, Joe. People are still asking questions, but can we just plug the what's our website, Joe? Where's the plug button?
You got to go to banners.
Is this for plugin? buildassetsonline.com/playbook. This is another more free mini course, how we created over $1 million in online assets. And it's not theoretical, it's proven we have sold over $1 million in online assets, facts, and we have more. We have plenty more websites, part of the portfolio. So we outline our structure for that. Go check that out. Buildassetsonline.com/niche. I don't know what we're doing with this, Joe.
This
People don't
is
like it.
done. This is done.
$97, niche selection masterclass. You're probably not going to like it, so don't buy it. But buildassetsonline.com/playbook. You could get that for free. It's our mini course. And then, you should have some opportunities to join our dropshipping course if you really want to take this seriously. Our dropshipping membership, which is the Elite Fleet. And you know what, Joe? Some guy called it a done with you program, and that kind of made me hesitate for a little bit. But
Some guy what? Some guy what?
He called it a done with you program.
Oh, what we do?
Oh, what we do, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I hesitated with that. I said, I don't know if we are that. But then I started talking to him out loud about it. And I said, it is. It is done with you.
Yeah.
Because we're here, we're giving you the feedback one-on-one. Is this good? Is this bad? We're hopping on the calls. So it is done with you. And I think it's, a lot of done with you things, Joe. Like Alex Hormozzi's gym launch, whatever. You know how much they charge for that? It's like $20,000. Well, we're charging a fraction of that.
Maybe we should start charging that.
I'm thinking that too, honestly, because people don't take it seriously enough. But let's keep going. Sorry. Anyway, back to the questions. People started leaving because they don't want to hear it, but we'll keep going with the questions. Is there a maximum amount of products to start running on Google Ads? And does Google allocate your budget to the products getting the most impressions? So 2 questions there. Is there a maximum amount of products to start running on Google Ads? This depends on your budget. If your budget is $10 a day, don't have 1,000 products because you're never going to get each product enough exposure to understand what's happening. So that'd be my first point. I would say if you're starting out, don't have more than 1,000 products. Maybe under 300 is probably good. Have a budget of maybe $30 to $50 a day. And that's probably a decent starting point. But does Google allocate your budget to the products getting the most impressions? This is a little bit of a circular thing you're saying. Because if it's getting a lot of impressions, that means Google is already allocating the budget to it. It's like showing it more. But to be more straightforward, a lot of times certain products will wind up taking up the majority of your ad spend, especially when you start out. And so that's because Google has a thing called a quality score. So basically, it's going to decide, okay, how well does this ad perform? And if it performs well, it's going to reward it. It's going to show it more. And so it kind of creates a snowball effect. It'll start showing something, and if it performs well, then it'll start to increase its exposure more and more and more. And then before you know it, you have 3 products that spent the majority of your budget. So that can happen. And there's plenty of ways to fix that if that's not desirable for you. And we go into that in the course in great detail. Have you guys ever dealt with scammers and checks bouncing? What are some ways to avoid that? Well, people have tried to do that, but I think it's somewhat obvious when someone is a scam. So Shopify is a pretty good fraud report. Like, if something is a red flag in Shopify, usually I don't fulfill it unless they're going to the customer is going to send me their proof of address or their proof of business or some serious documentation that I can verify. On top of that, we have an entire fraud prevention module in the course. Talks about even more ways to verify address ownership and stuff like that. But more simple answer would be a lot of scammers are really obvious. When they say, I want to send you a check, I want to buy 12 of these, I'm going to ship it to, Nigeria. We've gotten checks in the mail for like one time our sales guy, he thought we had a legit order. And I got this check for $35,000 when it was supposed to be not that. And that's like the number one sign. If the check is for the wrong amount, it's BS straight away, because what they want you to do is they want you to submit the check, not realizing that it's going to bounce. And then before it bounces, they're like, oh, can you send us the difference? Sorry, we screwed up. And then boom, that you just gave them, $10,000, whatever. So that stuff is obvious. Janelle Gabay. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I experience the same phone call issues. I'm French. I don't speak perfect English, and I live in a different time zone in the US, Dubai. Yeah.
You got to get a VA.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, Mike, can I tell you what I've been thinking?
Yeah.
I really feel that we don't have enough VAs. I want to have like 10.
Well, that's why accounting is a really big thing. Because if we knew exactly the ins and the outs of, what we were making each month to a very precise degree, then we could say, all right, screw it, we're going to hire 5 more people at $5 an hour or whatever. And we could balance the budgets.
Well, I mean, that's going to be, yeah. But given the month variance in cash flows with the order, you can't do accrual accounting as we've established with this business model. So it would be difficult to do. But either, no, I just feel like the next project I take on, like I really feel confident that I can put in a really unstoppable VA structure to it.
I mean, I believe you. And so whatever, yeah, go ahead and hire him. But yeah, that kind of goes along with what you were saying before with like, after you get to a certain point, you have to start thinking bigger, because making another dropshipping store that's going to make a few $1,000s a month isn't necessarily worth it to you. And taking on those bigger projects that are going to, make you $100,000 a month or whatever, you need a team for that.
Yeah.
And so it comes with time, and obviously from dropshipping, you've probably built up a certain level of team, and you've maybe learned a little bit about hiring. And so you can chase bigger and bigger goals because now you have a bigger team behind you, and you understand hiring a little bit better, and your infrastructure is better.
I want to get to his next question because I was literally just thinking this, Mike. Sorry. I will try and hire someone on Upwork. We recently you found someone on Upwork for something totally unrelated to dropshipping recently, right?
Yeah. The guy.
How is the platform? I mean, we've talked a lot of shit about Upwork, I feel like maybe a year ago, because they've changed a lot of things compared to how it used to be like 5 years ago. Do you have any comments on that now? Because I do feel like the thing with Upwork is I do feel like the platform, when I've used it, it was decent. You can find reliable people pretty easily, but I've just been so turned off by the changes that they've made compared to like the legacy version.
I mean, when I used it last time, it was pretty decent. I think they take a fee of whatever, and yeah, they've gone through many iterations of like trying to resurrect the company because I think their business model was like really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when I did it just now, like for the most recent project, it was pretty smooth. I don't know what kind of fee they're taking, but
right,
I'll just take them off Upwork after like the first go around if it works. So.
Yeah, I feel like kind of the glory days of Upwork is just like, when we're doing heavy into Kindle, we had so much stuff on Upwork. Like it would all be in the dashboard. Everything would be right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with hiring on Upwork now. But I would try and get them off Upwork, like just because out of whatever.
Have you ever tried low ticket drop shipping into branding? No. We don't do this. Again, branding something.
Drop shipping.
Branding something is a very, very advanced thing. And if you haven't been successful with dropshipping the way that we teach it, I wouldn't consider trying this, period. But I would never consider trying this, especially unless you've already made a decent amount of money online.
Yeah. Low ticket dropshipping is too advanced for us.
Yeah, there you go.
Because think about what it is. You have to take a product that you're going to have virtually no margin on, no absolute margin. You're going to make maybe $10, $20, at most on this product, and you have to create sufficient enough demand for this product at less than $20 per sale for a brand and a product that no one even cares about.
Yeah.
So it's like we were saying before, people do high ticket dropshipping, they screw it all up and it works. And they say, wow, everything is so easy. Let me put all my credit card money into some altcoin.
Wait, what?
But like low ticket dropshipping, if you screw one thing up, the whole thing's gonna fail. Branding is the same way. You have to make a product basically from scratch. The only way we would ever do a private label product would be like a high ticket product that we already know that sells. We already have like keyword data from our stores that like what it sells for and stuff. And
yeah. Let me say something else, Mike, on this topic, because we're in the process of possibly investing into what you might consider a private label product. And the amount of work, and we're making this consideration because we think it's like really amazing what the company did, and we think it like, but the amount of work that went in to this particular product is so far beyond what we're capable of doing that I feel like to really get into this type of thing, like it's not a lifestyle business, it's a life business.
Right. Exactly. People need to distinguish that.
It's a no lifestyle business. It's like this is going to be your life now.
Yeah.
And you better know, you better have something special to offer.
Right. It is so easy to create a store that you can sell for 6 figures relative to creating a brand that you could sell for 7-8 figures.
Yeah.
To the point that if you're just starting out, I wouldn't even be focused on trying to do something like that because it's just so out of reach for most people. When if you're getting into this space, you probably just want to make your first 100K, your first 200K, your first 500K. So just do that first, and then you'll have real world experience to go and maybe pursue that 7-8 figure, 9 figure brand.
And we almost did this, Mike. The only time we almost got into private labeling was someone we know, actually, I feel like came up with one of the best ideas that I've kind of heard from him, was that if you're high ticket dropshipping the way we teach, and say you're selling something with a generic keyword in Google Ads, you know what converts, and you know what converts for that keyword. So if you want to go the distance and do the whole branding thing, private labeling in that instance is not that far away.
Right. And I'm not sure what example you're talking about, but everything you said is true.
You know what I'm talking about.
Maybe I just
the pitch deck. There was a pitch deck being made.
Oh. Okay. You guys have an affiliate referral program for your course? LOL. I don't think so right now. Maybe for you, Matt. Message us privately. We'll talk about it. Niche course was awesome. Thank you, Matt. Cool. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate answering all my questions. You guys are the real deal. Thank you, George R.R. Martin.
I think we're reaching the kind of the time limit here.
Yeah, when we're drowning, and the viewers are going down the toilet. So, yeah. I mean, why don't we call it?
Yeah. To this question, I'm currently building a high ticket dropshipping website focused on furniture. Any advice for that niche, and how many products should I start with? I would say the best advice I can give now is kind of comb through our other videos. Because we don't have enough time to answer this in depth, unfortunately. We're at the hour and a half mark.
3 videos where we do answer this. A lot of questions about this. Best furniture products.
Yeah.
Obviously, advice, whatever. And niche selection videos that may be paid.
And of course, we have our niche selection masterclass, buildassetsonline.com/niche. But this is going away soon.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up, Joe. I think this was a good one.
I feel like it started off kind of slow, but it picked up.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of got sucked in. It was like a whirlwind. Now we're here an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
So buildassetsonline.com/playbook. How we build a 7-figure online business portfolio. You can learn how we did this. And of course, that about wraps it up. So just go there, sign up, free course, no harm. And as always, take it easy.
Take it easy.